These are things that, amongst many other things, have to change.
Justina Machado shares why her new show, The Horror of Dolores Roach, serves up more than just fright and comedy. And we've got the stories that define the week on People in 10. I'm Makon Dobu, bringing you everything you need to know about pop culture right now. 10 minutes are on the clock, so let's get to it with the first 5. Starting with Naomi Osaka's new bundle of joy. People can exclusively confirm the tennis star has given birth to a baby girl, whom she shares with her boyfriend, rapper Cordae. And it's also a girl for Claire Danes and Hugh Dancy, as they welcomed baby number 3, while sportscaster Erin Andrews and her husband Jared Stoll welcomed their first child, a baby boy via surrogate, after a 9-year fertility journey.
This is unbelievable.
And as former SportsCenter anchor Ashley Brewer tied the knot to NBA player Frank Kaminsky, Pentatonix's Scott Hoying married his fiancée Mark in a seaside wedding in Santa Barbara.
You hold out your arms and bring me back home.
He tells People exclusively that he feels like the luckiest man on earth. Noah Galvin and Ben Platt are looking ahead to their upcoming wedding.
Our priority is definitely a dance party. I think that's how we express our joy, and that's how we always have. It's a dance party with like a little Judaism at the beginning.
This is Kim Zolciak opened up about her 13-year relationship with Corey Bierman during her return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta this week. Months before announcing their split and recent reconciliation, she said, "Whatever I did, I chose the right person." Now for the social posts you've been keeping an eye on this week. Jonah Hill's ex, Sarah Brady, released what she says are private text messages between her and the actor and seemingly accused him of being emotionally abusive. This as Jamie Foxx returns to Twitter months after his medical complication. The actor relished in some boat life after he was spotted on the Chicago River.
Well, hey, this is a joyous occasion.
And Madonna also broke her silence after her own medical emergency. And Kristen Bell's Idaho dinner party has garnered some star-studded attention. We see a list of stars including Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Jason Bateman, John Mulaney, Olivia Munn, and many more. And Christina Hall went big with a party of her own, bringing in her 40th birthday at her Newport Beach mansion. Next up, a story you've been following closely on People.com. Buckingham Palace is setting the record straight on whether President Joe Biden was a bit too casual with King Charles during the pair's first formal meeting of the new royal reign.
The president and the king greeted each other with a handshake after Biden arrived at Windsor Castle on Monday, and the president later casually placed his hand on the monarch's back.
Some have speculated that Biden may have breached royal protocol during the exchange.
However, a palace source tells People that the king was entirely comfortable with the president's gesture. They add that it was a wonderful symbol of warmth and affection.
The insider also clarified claims that it was incorrect for Biden to walk in front of the king during the inspection of the Guard of Honor.
They say that that was in keeping with the correct protocol.
And school's out for Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis.
Over the coming months, the children will spend time at Amner Hall in Norfolk.
The summer plans come as Princess Kate and Prince William make certain George has a normal childhood whenever possible.
In this week's People cover story, a palace insider says that George is aware he will be king one day and adds that Kate and William are ensuring the role isn't too burdensome.
Moving on to more from inside this week's issue of People.
If anything happens to them, there's no place that I won't go to kill you. That is written.
Mission Impossible is back with Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Simon Pegg, Haley Atwell, and Pom Klementieff are sharing their experiences working with the real-life Ethan Hunt, aka Tom Cruise, and the film's director, Christopher McQuarrie.
The movies don't get easier to make, they get harder, and that's because Tom and McHugh always just up the ante every time.
And that includes with the film's all-out stunts.
People are chasing us.
Yes, they are. You're driving.
I'm drifting, that's real. I'm sometimes in the passenger seat, sometimes I'm behind the wheel. Tom and I are really handcuffed together.
Klementieff plays this film's villain and shares that she had a mission of her own.
She's hunting Ethan Hunt like a tiger, you know? So that was really fun to do, and also I had a lot of fun shooting the scenes.
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is playing in theaters now. And finally, some more celeb beauty revelations. Brought to you by e.l.f. Cosmetics. Actress Ashley Park wants you to express your e.l.f. and get ready with her as she dishes on her best makeup advice and her beauty routine in a new episode of Vanity Table Talk.
I'm ready, je suis prête.
She opens up about how she enhances that glow.
Now look at that. It's the beauty glow from the Beauty Wand. Contour.
And why one product can have multiple functions.
I do think this is for your face, but it feels very nice all around, so I'm just gonna do this.
She also shares why her beauty inspiration is her mom.
I associate a lot of like my smells with her. Different like serums and different like mascaras and stuff. Sometimes I'll open it and I'll be like, oh my gosh, my mom.
And why at the end of the day, the best beauty tip is to always just be your e.l.f.
I mean, you do you, right?
e.l.f. yes, Ashley. You gotta do you. Now, let's move on to some screen time. I'm so excited today to be joined by Justina Machado, who stars in the new series, The Horror of Dolores Roach, which is streaming now on Prime Video.
So when am I going to see what these magic hands can really do here, huh?
What have I done? So I'm gonna ask you 5 questions. For question number 1, you'll give me 1 answer, and question number 2, you'll give me 2 answers, and so on and so forth. Are you ready to get started?
Sure, let's do it.
I love this show so much. It's inventive, smart, and had just enough gore to keep me on the edge of my seat. Name one thing that you love about the horror genre.
Oh, I love being unexpectedly scared. I love seeing something supernatural. I love the magic realism of it all. I've always been a big horror fan.
Now, a famous Latin cuisine is featured on the show. I'm talking about empanadas. Have you always loved them? And also, how do you feel about them now that the show has wrapped? Wink, wink.
Well, I still will eat empanadas. You know, it's make-believe, so I'm not worried about it. My favorite kind is chicken and cheese. My mother makes an incredible chicken and cheese empanada. So I grew up eating those. I love them. That's my favorite.
After your character Dolores gets out of jail, she ends up giving massages in her friend's shop's basement as a hustle to make money. So if you weren't acting, what are 2 side hustles that you would be doing?
If I weren't acting, I think I would definitely be a social worker or something to do with the community. I think social work is something that when I wasn't sure what I was going to do with my life was something I was interested in getting into.
Anything else that was maybe similar or different to acting?
No, not really. If I wasn't an actor, I'd be something completely different, you know, nothing in this world.
The cast of the show is stellar. So many new faces, so many faces that I'm familiar with as well. Tell me about the vibe of working together.
Alejandro Hernandez, he's phenomenal. Keita Updike, K. Todd Freeman, Judy Reyes, you know, Mark Maron, Cyndi Lauper, and all of those other wonderful actors we had around us. It was really exciting, like you said, to see new people that you've never seen before. I love that.
Now, the series takes place in Washington Heights, but I know that you were born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. So what are 3 similarities or differences between Chicago and New York?
Well, I mean, this, you know, people always say Chicago's a cleaned up New York. You know, I beg to differ because there's no city like New York City. And Chicago is metropolitan, it's fantastic, but it's still kind of Midwestern, you know? So the similarities are community, our neighborhood, and diversity.
I love following you on Instagram and seeing all of your posts. Your mom recently met Vice President Kamala Harris. Who has been her favorite celebrity to meet? Has she ever asked you to introduce her to anyone?
My mother's very shy. She's very quiet. I have to remind her that she's got to speak when we're around people. She's very shy. But it was such a dream come true. She loved DC. She loved seeing the vice president's home. She even took the cocktail napkin home because she was going to frame it. So cute. But oh my God, she just fell in love with Gina Torres. She can't say enough wonderful things about her. That's her celebrity crush for sure.
This series feels like a commentary on so many things: gentrification, true crime podcasts, the prison system. What are 4 things that you're hoping viewers take away as they're watching the series?
Well, I definitely want them to really enjoy the series, to feel like they haven't seen anything like that before. I want them to take in the horror and the comedy, which is really fun. And I mean, there are underlying not so much messages, we deal with issues. And so maybe more empathy and more compassion towards people that are coming out of the system and really have nowhere to go, nothing to do, and she's a prime example. She was in it for 16 years for doing something as ridiculous as selling weed. No family, no friends, no neighborhood to go back to, and $200 in your pocket. So maybe some compassion and some empathy, and realizing that these are things that, amongst many other things, have to change.
And finally, what are 5 words that you would use to describe the horror of Dolores Roach?
Unexpected, funny, exciting, wild, and crazy.
I just wanted to have a normal, simple life. Sweet cannibal Jesus, please no.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Now everyone, be sure to check out The Horror of Dolores Roach, streaming now on Prime Video. All right, time's up. See you back here next Thursday.